Day 8 of Drawing Doctor Who. The Eighth Doctor is an incarnation of the Doctor, the protagonist of the BBC science fiction television series Doctor Who. He is portrayed by Paul McGann. The character was introduced in the 1996 TV film Doctor Who, a backdoor pilot produced in an unsuccessful attempt to relaunch the series following its 1989 cancellation. While the Eighth Doctor initially had only one on-screen appearance, his adventures were portrayed extensively in subsequent spin-off media, including more than 70 audio dramas starring McGann. In 2013, the actor reprised the role in the mini-episode, The Night of the Doctor, which depicts the Eighth Doctor's final adventure and his regeneration into the War Doctor, played by John Hurt. In 2022, he appeared alongside other past incarnations in The Power of the Doctor, The Final Adventure of the 13th Doctor, Jodie Whittaker, marking the Eighth Doctor's first ever appearance in a regular episode of Doctor Who 26 years after McGann first played the role. Within the series narrative, the Doctor is a centuries-old alien Time Lord from the planet Gallifrey who travels in time and space in the TARDIS, frequently with companions. At the end of life, the Doctor regenerates. As a result, the physical appearance and personality of the Doctor changes. McGann portrays the eighth such incarnation, a passionate, enthusiastic, and eccentric character. His only companion in the television film is Grace Holloway, Daphne Ashbrook, a medical doctor whose surgery is partly responsible for triggering his regeneration. In the continued adventures of the character depicted in audio dramas, novels and comic books he travels alongside numerous other companions, including self-styled Edwardian adventuress, Charlie, the alien Destrian present-day humans Lucy and Sam. The Eighth Doctor made his first television appearance in the 1996 Doctor Who television film, the first time the Doctor had returned to television screens since the end of the original series in 1989. Intended as a backdoor pilot for a new television series on the Fox network, the film drew 5.5% of the U.S. audience, according to Nielsen ratings. In the United Kingdom, it was received well, attracting over 9 million viewers and generally positive reviews. It was also generally well received in Australia. Although the film failed to spark a new television series, the Eighth Doctor's adventures continued in various licensed spin-off media, notably BBC Books' Eighth Doctor Adventures novels, audio plays from Big Finish Productions, and the Doctor Who magazine comic strip. These stories span the 9 years between 1996 and the debut of the new television series in 2005. He is the longest-serving Doctor in the Doctor Who magazine comic strip. In the wake of the positive reaction to the revived television series in 2005, several of the Eighth Doctor's Big Finish audio dramas were also broadcast on BBC 7 Radio in an edited form. The trailers for these broadcasts explained that these adventures took place before the destruction of Gallifrey, the Doctor's homeworld, as described in the revived TV series. In 2007, BBC 7 aired a new series of Eighth Doctor audio adventures, created specifically for radio broadcast. Paul McGann has continued to portray the Eighth Doctor in the various audio spin-offs. The continuity of the spin-off media with respect to the television series and to each other is open to interpretation. The Beginner's Guide to Doctor Who on the BBC's classic Doctor Who website suggests this may be due to the Time War. 3. It has been suggested that the Eighth Doctor's adventures in 3 different forms, novels, audio, and comics, take place in 3 separate continuities. The discontinuities were made explicit in the audio drama Zagreus. In response, it has become increasingly common to consider the 3 ranges separately. The final Eighth Doctor Adventures novel, The Gallifrey Chronicles, obliquely references this split in timelines, even suggesting that the split results in the 3 alternative forms of the Ninth Doctor, a reference to the fact 3 different versions of the incarnation have appeared in various media. Mary's Story, a 2009 audio story by Big Finish, contradicted these suggestions, as there the Doctor mentions his companions in order, with book companions before audio companions. In The Night of the Doctor salutes 5 of his companions by name, all from the Big Finish audio productions. Despite the fact the Eighth Doctor appeared on television only twice, he is the most prolific of all the Doctors, to date, in terms of number of individual stories published in novel, novella, short story and audio form. In 2007, the Eighth Doctor finally made a second appearance, of sorts, within the television series continuity. In the episode Human Nature, he appears on screen as a sketch, alongside other incarnations, in the book A Journal of Impossible Things by John Smith. In 2008 and 2010 he appeared again as a brief image in The Next Doctor and The 11th Hour, along with every other incarnation up to that time. In 2010's The Lodger, he is shown in a flashback with his first, second, third, fourth, ninth and 10th incarnations. In 2013's Nightmare in Silver, he is shown in a flashback along with the Doctor's other incarnations. He is also fleetingly seen running past companion Clara Oswald in the following episode, The Name of the Doctor, though his face is not shown. Later that year, McGann reprised the role for the mini-episode, The Night of the Doctor, a prelude to the show's 50th anniversary special. This appearance marked the Eighth Doctor's final adventure and his regeneration. The Night of the Doctor proved popular with fans of the series, some of whom petitioned the BBC to make a spin-off series starring the Eighth Doctor. The BBC's official website calls the Eighth Doctor an effortlessly charming, romantic figure. The site states that he is both unguarded about his own background and candid about the future of those he meets, noting the irony in an open Doctor remaining such a closed book. The Big Finish Productions website describes the Eighth Doctor as an enthusiastic figure who explores the universe for the sheer love of it, always surviving on the strength of his excellent improvisational skills rather than preparing elaborate plans. The site states that he is passionate, direct, sympathetic and emotionally accessible, but notes that these traits are balanced by occasional feelings of self-doubt and weariness of his endless battles against evil. Discussing The Night of the Doctor, McGann said, "Moffat's instinctive take on the Eighth Doctor was exactly how I'd imagined this character to be, even way back in the 90s. You know, this, like a bruised nobility. I know it sounds wanky now, but he's decent, but he's compromised. He's not a warrior, really, at all. There's a pacifist side to him, but he's a realist as well." The Eighth Doctor debuts in the TV film Doctor Who. While transporting the remains of his longtime nemesis the Master to Gallifrey, the Seventh Doctor, Sylvester McCoy, is caught in the crossfire of a gang shootout in 1999 San Francisco's Chinatown, USA. He is taken to a hospital where surgeons, confused by his double heartbeat, attempt to correct a non-existent fibrillation. These efforts instead kill the Doctor, and he is taken to a morgue where after several hours, due to the effect of anesthetic on his alien biology, he finally regenerates into his eighth incarnation, McGann. The Master manages to cheat death, and while the Doctor is on Earth his spirit takes over the body of a paramedic named Bruce Eric Roberts. The Master, Roberts, then attempts to steal the Doctor's remaining lives by opening the Eye of Harmony inside the Doctor's time machine, the TARDIS, nearly destroying the Earth in the process. However, the Doctor and his companion Dr. Grace Holloway, Daphne Ashbrook, are able to prevent the Earth's destruction, and the Master is sucked into the Eye. The TV film did not lead to the commissioning of a revived television series, and while Eighth Doctor stories continued in other media, Doctor Who did not air again on television until 2005. After this, footage and stills from the TV film would be used in later episodes, The Next Doctor, 2008, The 11th Hour, The Lodger, both 2010, and Nightmare in Silver, 2013. Edited archive footage in The Name of the Doctor very briefly shows the Eighth Doctor sharing an adventure with the Second Doctor, Patrick Troughton. McGann reprised the role for a webcast mini-episode, The Night of the Doctor, in 2013, which precedes the 50th anniversary special, The Day of the Doctor. The episode begins during the raging time war between Daleks and Time Lords when he is killed and attempting to save a young woman who rejects salvation at the hands of a Time Lord, causing them both to die in a spaceship crash. He awakens in the company of the Sisterhood of Karn, who explain that he has died and been temporarily resurrected. They urge him to bring the war to an end, and give him a choice of elixirs to trigger his regeneration. Saluting his various companions from the Big Finish audio range, he drinks an elixir designed to produce a warrior, regenerating into the War Doctor, John Hurt, who declares himself to be the Doctor, no more. In The Day of the Doctor, the Eighth Doctor joins all of the other incarnations of the Doctor in saving Gallifrey at the end of the Time War. He can briefly be seen on a screen in the War Room, though like the other past incarnations of the Doctor, this is achieved through archive footage. McGann reprised his role as the Eighth Doctor in the final 13th Doctor special, The Power of the Doctor, appearing in a transitional quasi-afterlife. He, along with the 1st, 5th, 6th, and 7th Doctors, helped the 13th to undo her forced regeneration by the Master. The Eighth Doctor initially wore a Wild Bill Hickok costume including a battleship grey cravat tie intended for a New Year's fancy dress party, which he liberated from the lockers at the San Francisco hospital where he regenerated. He completed it with a pair of black leather shoes taken from Grace Holloway's ex-boyfriend Brian to give him the appearance somewhere between a Victorian dandy and Wild West gambler. By the time of The Night of the Doctor, he sported a worn and bottle green moleskin overcoat, a ruffled and midnight blue ascot tie, a bronze-gray paisley waistcoat, leather gaiters, and caramel brown U.S. Army cavalry boots, corresponding with his overall weary appearance, presumably as a result of many experiences during the Time War. This costume has been featured on many Big Finish Productions audio plays set during the Time War and has also been used as promotional material after the positive reception of The Night of the Doctor. McGann wears a variation of this costume for his appearance in The Power of the Doctor. In 2010, Paul McGann revealed a new costume and sonic screwdriver for the Eighth Doctor which he indicated would be the new costume going forward. The cover and promotional photographs for the 2012 Big Finish story, Dark Eyes is, however, the first story to officially feature the new costume. The new outfit was originally premiered in 2010 at the Armageddon Pop Culture Expo, along with a redesigned sonic screwdriver, courtesy of Weta Workshop. These changes were independently produced and were not affiliated with Big Finish Productions or the BBC, but were accepted as suitable for official use after the fact. 14. The costume consists of a royal blue leather pea coat, a white t-shirt, navy blue jeans and brown shoes. In this outfit the Doctor also carries a brown messenger bag. Almost as soon as he'd left San Francisco, the Doctor had another brief attack of amnesia, caused by a final trap of the Masters. To regain his memories, the Doctor was forced to visit all 7 of his past selves and help them out with some crisis or another, at the same time acknowledging the responsibility his role gave him. Having regained his memories, the Doctor met a late 20th century Coal Hill School student named Samantha Jones. Shortly after their encounter, the Doctor left her alone at a Greenpeace rally. For a time, the Doctor adventured with an ice warrior named Sard and a human woman named Stacy Townsend, who fell in love with each other. Some while after they parted ways with the Doctor, the two invited him to serve as best man at their wedding, placebo effect. He also, at some point, teamed up with his old companion Bernice Summerfield, Brigadier Lethbridge Stewart and unit to combat an ice warrior occupation of Great Britain. The Eighth Doctor's adventure continues to spin off novels, audio dramas and comic strips. Stay tuned for the next Doctor.